All right, guys. Hello, welcome to the XBS Chel Show, our final show of the season, the award show. We got the myself here. We have Krim. Krim, say hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And we have Shuck here with us as well.
Hey guys.
And we also have our guest Levins here with us as well.
How's it going, boys?
All right, so some quick notes, league news stuff, then we'll get to the meat of the show. The Mercy Rule poll is up. If you haven't checked that out, please check it out. Vote, add some comments if you want. A lot of guys have provided their input, so that really helps us out when it comes to season 28. And also, the season 27 survey is out as well. It's a little bit different than we've done in seasons past, so just take your time with that. You're not actually going to rate every player in the league. We felt that was kind of getting a little too much, so we kind of revamped it. So take your time to fill that out. Give us your thoughts. That'll be really helpful for us moving forward as well. All right, so let's get into the meat of the show. We'll start with congratulating you, Levins, and your Colorado Avalanche for winning that season 27 championship. I mean, hands down, you guys are the best team from beginning to end, no doubt. I don't know how many points you guys have. What was your total point? 100 and something points you guys had? Something like that. I don't know what total was.
I'm on the site here. Let's see. That's total points for the boys. 134, but who's counting?
So well, I'm sure you guys were. So let's be honest. So I mean, that's beginning to end, you guys were pretty dominant, and that's real no surprise that you guys won the championship. Anything you want to add to that, Chuck or Krim? Anything you guys want to add to that?
Just congrats, yeah. It was a good season for them. They, wire to wire.
Yeah. I mean, same thing. Playing them in the finals was a lot of fun. Frustrating, but a lot of fun. So.
Right. Yeah. All right, and then the Conn Smythe, we'll explain to you how that works. What we did is we had the admins like myself, Sabres, OSB, Scott, Pierre. We voted, and also we had all of the owners vote for the Conn Smythe winner. And so basically, we would send Pierre anonymous. Well, not anonymously. Pierre would know it was us, but we'd each send Pierre our votes for our first place, second place, and third place for the Conn Smythe. And then he would give points to first place, points to second place, and points to third place. I think it's like 5 for first, 3 for second, and 1 for third. And then he tallied up the points for each player, and that came out to be Mash. So Mash is the Conn Smythe for the season 27 playoffs. He got that award for the Conn Smythe award. I don't know what the total tallies were, but it makes sense that he got that award as the Conn Smythe. Levins, your thoughts on that one? I mean, it could have been really anybody, really, other guys in your team, but I think him of all people was really deserving of it.
I think Mash was probably the face of the team from start to finish, and something Daly said to him after we struggled a little in Game 3 against Tampa was, we go as you go, and he didn't play his best game that game, and when Mash is on, we're on all cylinders, so it. Like you said, it just makes sense. He's face of the team. He was my first round pick, and
it
was a great time playing with him.
Yep. So I think it's a kind of a no-brainer choice there. I mean, there were other guys, like I said, as well, but I think that was a pretty obvious choice when it comes to the Conn Smythe. All right, so congrats to Mash on that. Krim, you want to go on to some of those record setters? I think is that what we're up to next, Chuck? We're gonna do the record setters next, correct?
Record setters
All right,
next. So I'll go ahead and put them
Krim,
on there.
You want to hop on? We'll get those record setters up.
Oh.
I'm sure Chuck will get the record setter slide up there on the screen.
They're not in
You
your
guys-
notes, so I had to open up the book.
Well, you should see right there. You can see on Chuck's slide right there if you're watching
Yeah,
guys live. There
And
you go.
obviously, there's more records. These are just the ones that would fit on the slide.
Okay.
Yeah, so season 27 was our season with the greatest amount of games played. So not only in this version of game, you're going to see more points because it was a high scoring game, but also the amount of games would inflate the amount of points for people too. So we did see a lot of records broken this season. So we can go through quickly some of the scoring records that were set this season. So season 27, all-time scoring for one season, we had 2 new records. Now in first place we have Mash Shotpa, who finished with 221 points, and Levens finished the season, I think, fourth place now in the league with the 169 point season there. Pretty impressive feats. As far as goal scoring, we have Mash up there too. And we had Flaming Dragon set a record as well. So first is Mash with 148 goals, and Dragon behind him with 113. So those are two new records in the record book, 1 and 2. Continuing down the list here, assists in one seasons, we have another 3 records set this season. So um, first, second, and fourth place now set this season. In first, we had Levens with 116 assists. Macaque Pierre, he's at second with 106. And then actually tied for third is Stamps. He's at a new record this season too. Power play goals, nope, nothing new this season. Shorthanded goals, there was a new one set. Tied for first, we have a whole bunch of people who scored 9 in one season, but Mash tied the record with 9 this season as well. Plus minus, obviously you're gonna have pretty much the whole Colorado team setting records with plus minus. Violent MP was finally dethroned from the top 4 list, so right now they have Mash, Levens, Daly, and Chalupa with 130, 123, 97, and 95 plus minus, and I'm sure there's a few more of their teammates just below them, not on the record page. And again, season 27, game-winning goals, new record set by Mash at first place with 29. Second place behind him was from last season, which was Habs at 19. So it's quite a difference. That means almost 30 games. Mash had that game-winning goal. It's pretty impressive. And we have Vibe down there setting another record at fourth place with 18 game-winning goals. So yeah, so it's not all about the scoring records, right? So also look at some other different types of records. I'm not sure if you want to go into some of these, Dusty or Shuck or Levens. There's some hitting records I think set this season and stuff like that, face-offs.
If you want to go ahead, I mean, we can do it quickly if you want to. It's
Cool.
just give some guys some recognition. Might as well.
Yeah, so Close, he set the hitting record last season. I'm not sure if anyone knew, but he's at it once again. He set the record once more, so he upped it himself here. So last season he had 719. This season he finished with 733. So shout out to Close, the hitting machine. And he actually set another record for most faceoffs won in a season. So this season he finished with 1,111. So that's pretty cool. 1-1-1-1.
Yeah.
So he was 11's was just behind him actually with 1,019. So pretty close behind.
In less games played.
In less games played.
Oh, stop it.
Humble brag.
Defensemen? We'll give a couple quick records for defensemen. Important position out there. They don't always get the recognition they deserve. But this season we had a defenseman with most points in one season. Chalupa Batman and KT both set new records this season. Chalupa finished with 73, which is the most in a season. And in third place was KT, setting it at 68 points. So pretty impressive point totals for defensemen, right? So, and I think we also had a new record for assists in one season set by, KT and Chalupa. It makes sense. Most of the points from a defenseman will come through assist. Chalupa had 68 at first, and KT in third with 57. So I think those were the main records set. Of course, plus minus, well, it's the same people from Colorado. We have the defense core, right?
Crazy, yeah,
So,
of course.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's so many records are broken. I mean, I know it has a lot to do with the more games, and I mean, I know guys in the offense will argue, but it's the games is so geared towards the offense. I'll keep saying that. If you're a good offensive player and you go with the sticks, then this game suits you, just fine. So a lot of records there. Congrats to
Actually,
those
let me
guys that broke the records.
just
Go ahead.
push through a couple more here. We didn't go through the goalies, so we got to give our boys in the back end a couple shout outs. There's a few records set
course.
this season. We have record for saves in one seasons, and we had a new record for most wins in one seasons. So the record for saves is now held by Beer Nuts. He had a whopping 957 saves, and we also had a record set by Brickwall just behind him with 935 saves. So I know it's a lot of pucks to face and a lot of games to play. So shout out to those guys. Wins in one season. We also have a new record there. Hootnator for Colorado finished with 55 wins, and just behind him, Mr. Beer Nuts finished with 50 wins. So that's impressive stuff for the Goldies.
Yeah, I want to bring something up about Stupid Bastard because he, when we had first done this, it was being us with the save record, but When something with the scoreboard, when Stupid Bastard was traded, we had to go to his actual career page and we had to add up his saves. We had to go to his career page because it wasn't keeping track of them on the actual scoreboard. I had to go to his player page to find out how many saves he actually had because he was traded. Something with the scoreboard doesn't keep track of that in the records when he gets traded. So I had to go look at his career page. So he does have that saves record. He makes sure to remind me of that, in a joking way. But he had 1,056. That record of 1,056. Even though it says Beer Nuts in the record book, it's really Stupid Bastard, as you can see on the slide up if you're watching right now. So
That happened to Mentis. I remember, I think my rookie season in 24 when he broke the shutouts record. Because if you look, it's still BBB on the record books, but I'm pretty sure Mentis had 11.
yeah, it's very possible. Like it's something with like I said, something with the scoreboard. It's like a little bit of a glitch. So that's very possible.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, congrats to those guys. For breaking those records. So yeah, let's move on from that, and let's get on to the actual awards. I know this is what most of the guys are waiting for. So let's get into that. Let's get into that first one. I'll start off the first one there. It's the Art Ross Trophy, and this is, I mean, pretty obvious. This is who led the league in points during the regular season, and that's obviously going to go to Mash. But there was also you had Levins behind him in second, and you had Vibe Beats behind him in third as far as when it came to the league in points. Now, I know the numbers aren't up there. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I don't know if one of you guys have them, but not that it's that important. But that was the first, second, and third right there in scoring with Mash, Levins, and Vibe Beats. The numbers really aren't that important.
If you want them, I got them. I'm on the site.
All right. So okay. So you can shoot your horn some more, Levins. Let's go. What did Mash have?
All right. So Mash had 221 points in 56 games. His lackluster center had 169 nice in 54 games. And then Viber had 165 in only 46 games.
Yeah, so that's the crazy numbers there. All right. So congrats to those guys. Congrats to Mesh on that one. And then the Rocket Richard. I'll get this one, then we'll switch to somebody else. Kim, you can take up the next two. The Rocket Richard, we have, this is the player that led the league in goals in the regular season. There it is again. You got Mash at top. You got Dragon behind him, and then you have Vi Beats in third right there. So those are your three guys to the Rocket Richard, which goes to Mash. You can, if you want to give us the numbers for that one, Levins. Go ahead. Give us the goals.
The numbers?
Yeah.
I'm the stats guy today. So yeah, Mash had 148 in 56 games. Flame had 113 in 50 games, and Vibe had 93 in 46.
All right, so there's your numbers on that one. All right, Krim, why don't you take this next two? You can take the Calder and Lady Bang if you want.
The Calder. This is what everyone's waiting for. I've been tooting this guy's horn all season, so I'm actually proud to say my boy Chronic. He is the winner of the Calder this season, Rookie of the Year. We had a couple of good rookies join the season. We didn't have a larger group that we usually do, but Chronic was very versatile. He played center, he played wing, he played defense. He played them all really well, so I'm actually, congratulations, Chronic, on getting that. You deserve it. We'll mention who was actually in second and third, too. There's some close competition here. Mm-hmm. So second place this season was Get Hyped. He had a great breakout season with Whip on the Kings. And closely behind him, third place was Marty McFly, another standout player. I'm guessing Ruckus would have been closely behind those guys. I know he had a great rookie season, too, on Colorado. So shout out to the Calder winner, Chronic, and the runner-ups.
I played with Chronic in St. Louis, and he's well deserving of it. He's fun to play with. He's good at the game. He's one of those guys that fits in well here with XBS. Him and Gade in St. Louis really got along well with their jokes and always keeping things light. So well deserved, and like I said, congrats to the other guys as well that were up there for the voting, but well deserved for Chronic.
Cool. We'll move along to the most important award of the show, actually.
The most insignificant award.
But I think Lady Bang, maybe it's the biggest jerk award this season, because if I'm looking at the list here, I mean, this year's winner of the Lady Bang is none other than Mr. Dusty Rightstick himself. So I guess there was some error in the voting, but congratulations,
something went
Dusty.
Wrong there. Thanks.
And in second place behind Dusty is, I'm not sure I know this guy, Mendes X. I haven't seen him around, so I don't know. But apparently, yeah, he's second. And closely behind him is Pierre McCack. He's a great guy. If you've been had a chance to play with him, you know that he's right up there with all the other guys for Lady Bing.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
congratulations, Dusty.
Yeah, thanks. All right, so Shuck, you want to take these next two? I'll let you get the
Yeah, I can.
Nick, the Frank Selke and the Vezina.
Well, we'll just go ahead and start with the Frank Selke. It is
Sure.
Levens, the one and only winning it as the best defensive forward in the league, followed by Zombie in second and KH at third. Obviously having extensive playing time against these guys, not on the ice, but I watched my guys go against them. 100% Levens deserves it. I mean, he was basically a third defenseman on the ice and quite possibly better than either one of the defensemen that were on his team defensively sometimes, but they were all good. I don't know.
Got a shot? He's still on my team for a couple weeks, buddy. You better watch him out.
I'm saying you were really, really good, if it makes you feel any better.
All right.
It was definitely tough. It was hard to, I mean, he made it so hard to get in the zone and everything like that. So Levin's definitely third D-man on the ice at all times. So, and then we'll go ahead and shoot. I'll touch on the other two too. Two as well. I mean, Zombie obviously hitting machine, really physical from the winger position.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it really he makes it really hard on his assignment, especially if he gets lined up with your number one guy. He usually same as Levens, makes it super hard to get in the zone, challenges you at the blue line. So definitely makes it hard. KH, he's probably a little bit more of a sleeper. I don't know if anybody necessarily. Well, obviously people thought about him because they voted for him, but I always thought when I hear his name, I always think about him scoring on me with deflections, and it hurts my heart a little bit. But
right.
Defensively, same thing from the wing. I mean, you can't ask for a better player. So
That's
I
interesting.
both those.
which is nice because you got to think it's two wingers right
Yeah, that's what I
behind
was
the
saying.
center.
It's interesting
So-
that it's
Same team.
wingers and not centers,
Mhm.
which I thought was
Mhm.
really surprising because, Pierre's always up there, defensive center, and there's a few other
Yeah.
guys that when you match up against them, they're playing, the center position the way it was meant to play, a little bit back, trying to help out the defenseman. But it's good to see the wingers get some recognition. Recognition.
Yeah.
Sorry, can't speak today.
Gonna say,
So yeah, I'm pretty impressive there.
I mean, I think that votes. I know for me personally, I feel like Zombie and Cage were really so aggressive on the forecheck and good at it. Zombie was more physical, where he'd bump you constantly when you're trying to get the fuck out of your zone. And Cage was more of a guy that would come in and stick lift you or just like knock you off the puck and get it. So I can see why both those guys are kind of up here for the voting, because that was what I experienced when I played against those two guys, just how aggressive they were on the forecheck and good at it. So,
That's impressive as a wing, man.
Yeah.
That's the first I can remember since I want to say Thamps a couple seasons ago that a wing finished top 3 in Selke voting, because it's always a center award. Like,
Yeah.
like you
let
said,
alone
it's
two,
Pierre.
right?
Yeah, like Dusty, you're usually up there.
Yeah.
Chill's usually up there.
Yep. Well,
So good
anyway,
on 'em.
congrats to you guys.
Yep, congrats to them.
T11s and the rest of those two guys. All right, we're gonna get to the visitor there, Shuck.
Oh yeah, favorite award,
Oh, yeah.
obviously. Obviously, this is my time to shine, right?
No one knows
Obviously,
Chuck.
no
Say whatever you want.
No surprise. Beer Nuts is our Vezina winner. As a goalie, I wanted to win it, but in my heart of hearts,
Of course.
I would have voted for Beer Nuts even if I could have voted for myself. So
Mhm.
he was like, I know everybody wants to talk about the offense in not Colorado, well, Colorado, but Carolina. And all that, but he definitely kept them in games they had no business staying in, with their second, third line vibes on vacation. Doesn't matter, he's bringing home the victory. So second place in voting, which was really close. I want to say Beer Nuts actually won it by a single point,
Yes,
if
he
I'm
did,
not
right?
mistaken.
I think he did. Yes.
But in second place was Hootinator, obviously, won Stanley Cup. No one needs personal awards when you win the Stanley Cup, but still nice to get recognized. And then, yours truly, Chuck Norris at third. That guy's a shitter. Don't listen to him.
He's all right.
But no,
Hopefully that new patch helped you guys out. That new patch is supposed to use stuff for goalies, so maybe that'll help you guys even more. You guys need
Yeah,
the help.
right.
that'd be nice.
This
That'd be
game.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not going to talk too much about myself, but Hootinator, obviously, I mean, wins record, Stanley Cup champions, super low save goals per game percentage. I mean, he was when his game was having maybe a little in the off chance that Colorado was having a down game, he was usually there to pick them up. So, hats off to those guys. So.
Levins, you can say something about Chuck. You did play him there, finals. Anything you want to say about Chuck?
Hey, he did pick me for the honorary rookie of the year, even though there were no rookie goalies.
Listen, dude. Chuck, you're a beaut, dude. It sucked that Lehner had to go when he did for the birth of his kid. Congratulations, Lehner, by the way. But you stepped in. You're a tough guy to beat, man. You're definitely not. You played above your pay grade. That's for freaking sure.
I'll even admit that. So
that'll never happen again, buddy. So I hope you're got a nice bag ready to get some cars in the garage next season, because that XBS check is coming in thick next year, buddy.
all I will say about myself is if you draft me next season, don't pick another goalie. I want to play every game.
There you go. Play a lot. Look at this guy. I like it. There goes that draft stock already shooting up.
Hey, I have 100% availability too. So.
That's good. For a goalie, that's good. For a goalie, that's really good. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's sick, man. Good year.
Appreciate it.
All right, Levins, you want to grab these next two? You want to grab the Norris and the Hart here?
Yeah, I can do. So
go ahead.
So Norris is a tough one to predict every year, because there's so many different ways to look at it. Cause it's just it's so general for best defenseman. You can go offensive defenseman, you have defensive defenseman, you have puck movers, you have goal scorers, whatever. Probably couldn't have got a better choice than number one, Happy Gilmore. He does it on both ends of the ice. You guys like to tell me I'm like a third defenseman. DJ at times is like a fourth forward if the offense is struggling. Like he probably carries the puck better than any defenseman in the league. He's got a wicked shot, handles it well, dishes, whatever. And then he's solid on the back end. He takes a couple trips here and there, a couple penalties.
Right, yeah, for sure.
But you gotta. If you're not taking penalties, you're not trying, right? So,
that's right.
Great choice there. 2 and 3. Got to show some love for my boys, Chalupa and Daly. Top pair all year for us, even though I don't think we could have gone wrong with our defensive core. It was just a great core. Chalupa was one of the best puck movers I've ever played with this season. Towards the end, he was like a power play quarterback. Got a lot of shots from the point from him. A lot of pucks on net. And then Daly was absolutely huge for us this year, man, especially in the finals. Just played really well on Berkey's side. That's not an easy guy to defend. I know I was kind of favoring Thamps' side more, kind of leaving Daly out to dry, and he did perfect with him. And he's someone that I still don't know how he was available when I got him in the 4th round. So thanking my lucky stars for that. Thanking both these guys for a great season and playing.
Yep.
Honorable mention to BBB, because he had a 6 season, and I gave him one of my votes. I thought he'd be up in the top 3, but
he was close. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he was up there. He was. I remember seeing his name near the top.
He had a great year.
Yeah. And when he's when he plays the way he can play, he did a great season.
Yeah, good for all these guys.
Yep. Shout out to those guys, and we got the Hart there. Take that one, Levins.
Moving on, okay, to the Hart here. So,
big award.
Yeah, this is another tough one, right? Because
it's not best player. It's most valuable to the team.
It's most valuable to the team, which I think I get the reasoning for people here. I'll start with second place. My boy Mash. He had a historic season. He's one of the best players I've ever played with, like in and outside the league. But we did have a lot of weapons, and that's not a knock on Tampa at all, because they certainly had their weapons. But Thamps, he went as that team went more than anyone.
Right.
He would put the team on his back in big moments, whether it was making a play. He's a forechecking machine. He could switch between a grinder build, a sniper build, whatever you needed him to do. And he was just everywhere for them. It's a great choice. You couldn't go wrong with either of these guys. But I mean, yeah, I can see the edge to Thamps. Also, Pierre on Nashville here. That's another perennial choice. He's got to be in the
Right.
conversation every single year just for he's beyond consistent on both ends. He didn't finish. He has to be top 5 for Selke voting. I'll have to look at that later.
I can probably find it.
Yeah, he's just a consistent guy. He's another one that he can dictate the pace of his team. He runs things defensively. He creates offensively, and really these are 3 good choices. Trying to think who would have been snub. I mean, Vibe's there every year.
I'm trying to see if I'm trying to grab real fast. Hold on, I can kind of get you some info on where this ended up. Let me just.
He was
find it.
4th in the
Let's
Selke.
see.
Pierre was.
Yeah.
I'm looking at. Yeah, let's see.
Who
yeah,
are the
okay.
other
So
two
is
for Hart if you have it, because was
Hart.
Vibe 4 or 5? He had to be.
for the Heart.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't in the top 5. 4th was you, and then KH was 5th.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah.
See, Kevin's a great choice too. Somebody gave me a stat on him that
Mm-hmm.
Philly was like, I'm gonna butcher this stat, but like their win percentage was unreal with him, and then without him, it wasn't the best. I'll try to find it. I was talking to someone earlier.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just say it's something. But I'm sure a lot of people thought this way too. When I was voting for this one, I was one of those that picked Thamps first because I said to myself, like you were saying, Levins, could you guys have gotten by in Colorado without MASH? And I think you guys could have. I think you guys still would have had. You guys would have been okay. And I thought, well, if Tampa didn't have Thamps, I think things would have been a little tougher for Tampa. That's how I kind of went through my thought process with that one. Like you said, Crimmins, who's the most important to the team? And without Thamps, I think Tampa would have struggled. Would have struggled a lot. So that was my kind of thinking on the Thamps choice here when I voted for this one.
So the Kevin stat for KH is he was 4th in points per game, 10th in points overall. He had 4 penalty minutes the entire season. And Philly's record with him was 29-9, and without him was 9-27-2.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So shout out to Kevin.
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that gets forgotten about. Guys should really take notice of him. This next season, take notice of KH because
Sure, happy
Sneaky, man.
if he's an owner.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
happy.
absolutely. All right, so Levin, thanks for that. And now let's get Krim. You want to get to the? Well, first of all, congrats to those guys who won all those awards.
Yep.
Congrats to
everyone.
all of you. Great season. Another season in the books.
Stuff, guys.
Season 28.
Yep.
We'll get to eventually, but let's get to these All Stars. Krim, you want to start with the Eastern Conference All Stars for season 27?
Yes, I will go through the East Conference All-Stars. There's actually some interesting choices here that you wouldn't expect, so get ready to blow your hats off here. So we'll start with the East.
Not wearing a hat.
Well, then you're in trouble. There goes your
headset.
toupee.
There goes your toupee right there.
Ah, shit.
All right, so starting at center for the Eastern Conference is probably what most people would have expected. So Mr. Jetty, he gets a nod to be the center All-Star. This is where things will actually get a little crazy. He had an amazing season. I guess people took notice, but Mr. Kevin Cage, 27,
Yeah.
is one of your 2 wingers, and of course Mr. Thamps, the Hart Trophy winner, is right there. The one thing I think is kind of surprising is Mr. Vibe Beats. He got snubbed out of that one, but 2 solid choices there. Moving back to the back end, it might be even more surprising. I'll go with the more obvious choice, which we all spoke about earlier, Mr. Blue Blood. He got a nod at All-Star D, and this is one I kind of find kind of surprising is
I do as
imparting
well.
Rook.
Mhm.
He got All-Star defense with Scott, so shout out to him. I'm not sure if he's still around anymore since
Right.
Mentis is gone, but shout out to Rook. And of course, your reigning Vesna winner, Beer Nuts, back at the goaltender position there. So that's your Eastern Conference All-Stars. Jetty, Gage 2070, Thamps, Blue Blood, Rook, and Beer Nuts.
All right, congrats to those guys. And let's get on to the Western Conference All Stars. Krim, you want to take those two, if you don't mind? Just have on the West
Sure.
also.
So there's a few names you'll obviously expect to see on the Western Conference.
Look at that
but,
whole left side.
What is that DJ avatar?
Oh, that's
I
right.
missed
Yeah.
something.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Shook, you want to explain that one?
Okay, I'll explain it before we get too far.
Happy good ones, but oh my god, the chat.
I
Uh,
love
love it.
that.
So when I was making this, Chel showed me how to pull people's Xbox Live avatars off of
Right.
things, and when I typed his name in, it kept giving me that I wasn't authorized to view it. So I was like, what Happy Gilmore thing can I put on here? And then there was a pop with him holding the hockey stick, and I was like, the only thing, if I had more
That's
time, I could have like
amazing.
edited like a Calgary jersey onto it, but I didn't have that kind of time.
He
That's
likes
so
it.
good.
Happy likes it. He wants you to send it
That's
to him.
so
That's
good.
But yeah,
that's
apparently his Xbox Live avatar is top clearance, and I'm not allowed to touch it. So
Oh,
this is the
geez,
best
wow.
it could get.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa, that's great though. I like that. That's a great one though. I think it's awesome. All right, so Crib, let's get back to these Western All Stars.
Yeah. All right.
Fine.
So some names you expect to see up there. Colorado,
Yeah.
a solid team, so you expect to see a few members there. So we'll go through those players real quickly here. So starting at center for the Western Conference All Stars is your boy Evans, 1170, and his main man on the wing, Mashotpa. And coming along for the ride is his two other teammates on defense, T. Daly, and on the back end there, Hootinator. Those are all names you expect to see. They had a great season with Colorado, so congratulations. Someone that's kind of a surprise, but not really, considering the amount of goals he put up there. We'll give a nod to Flaming Dragon filling up the last wing spot there. So he had a great season scoring goals, so he well deserved.
Yep.
And as you guys alluded to earlier, Mr. Gilmore there with his special avatar, Happy Gilmore, finishing up there on the defensive end. Solid teams on both ends.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. All right. Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap it up? This will be our final show for season 27. So, Levins or
Oh, yeah.
Chuck, anything else you guys want to say? Krim, say it now, and then we'll close up shop for the season.
Go Avs, go.
Yep.
It was
Ah,
it was a great season, guys. Looking forward to many more together. Congratulations to everyone who won the awards, and we'll get things rolling soon and
Yeah.
get through this whole COVID thing together.
Oh
Yeah, that's
definitely.
for sure. Everyone be
Wash
be
your
safe with
hands.
that.
Yeah,
man, for
wash
sure.
your hands. And I know I've said it before on a couple. I think the last two shows I did, but this is my first full season, so I just want to thank everybody for making it. It was a blast. So came up short in the
well,
finals, but it was a blast of a seasons, and I'm like you guys said. I hope we have a lot more together. Hopefully, we don't have too many people jump ship because of some of the problems we had this season, but. Thanks for everybody
Yeah.
else for sticking through it and all that
Great
good
stuff with the show, Chuck. Way to step
Appreciate
in,
it.
man.
They sent me
Yeah, I
a
was gonna
lot.
say
They
that.
sent me a lot
Yeah.
of the. I know for the award show, they sent me a lot of the elements that they used last season, and since it was on such short notice, I just changed a couple things
Yeah.
up and edited stuff. But I
And
enjoy
you've been
doing
doing
this
great,
kind
man.
of stuff.
Good
So
stuff.
Yeah, I personally appreciate it because I
Yeah.
know we had Chilltown do it last season. And Memphis was
Oh, he
I was able
sucked.
to saw him, but then he had to kind of step back, and then Chuck, you took right over for him, and we just kept the show going seamlessly. So I gotta
Thanks,
thank
Chuck.
you for that. Yeah, and Krim, you too for doing it all season with me as well. It's appreciated. And any guests that came on the show this season, thank you
Except
for doing
Levins.
that. Yeah, except for that guy who begged me to be on the show. He
He's
begged me on the show
brutal.
today, so he begged me.
Yeah,
and,
you're
like,
right.
like
Need that
20
Colorado
times.
representation.
But listen, guys. Also, reminders: do the survey. If you want to visit the Mercy Rule write up, check that out, and stay tuned for the site for updates. We're gonna take things a little slow than normal, but we will get season 28 started in due time. So just stay focused on the site and look for updates, and we'll give you guys updates when we have them. Again,
See you
thanks
on the
everyone
ice.
for this season. Yep. See you guys next season. Thanks for listening.